again, and thank you for choosing to watch another instalment from my YouTube channel Benidorm and Beyond. If you enjoy this vlog, please consider becoming a subscriber so you'll never miss any new content as I upload it in the future. Today I'm taking you on a tour around Altea, which is a charming little coastal village about 18 kilometres north of Benidorm. It can be reached by taking the number 10 bus from Benidorm at a cost of only €1.55, with buses running every 20 minutes or so according to the timetable, although in reality it is more like every half an hour or so, when two will most likely turn up together. Alternatively, if you're staying in the Old Town area, you can head up to the train station, which is just off the top of the Avenida Benedorm, and catch the tram heading towards Denia. This will cost you €1.35, and after half an hour and just 5 stops, you will arrive at Altea train station. We start our tour in the pretty town hall square, called Plaza José María Planellas, and as usual I start my day with coffee in a local bakery. The square is well kept by the town, with plenty of seats and planted tubs, and the council often display new planning concepts and ideas on information boards in this area, so residents are always kept informed of what may affect them in the future. The square is flanked by shops, and there is a chemist's and a fashion retailer, as well as the British-founded charity shop Giving for Giving, which is staffed by volunteers and kept smart and tidy just like a normal shop would be, and raises much-needed funds for local cancer charities. There are also a variety of coffee shops to be found, one of which is also a bakery selling delicious cakes and pastries, and it's a perfect place to sit and rest for a while on one of their lovely outside terraces. Moving away from the square and the main commercial area, we head uphill towards the cobbled, narrow and crooked streets of the old town itself. In this neighbourhood you can find all sorts of bars, shops and galleries tucked away, and half the fun of it is finding them and discovering their treasures. In this area you can find the Casa De Cultura, or House of Culture, which manages a host of programmes and activities in the town, as well as housing the library and the Museum of Moors and Christians costumes. It is open Mondays to Fridays from 9 AM to 2 PM, as well as in the evenings in the summer months, and is free to enter. Climbing up the well-photographed steps of the Costera del Mestre de la Musica, this steep and often uneven walk uphill takes you past dozens of whitewashed houses, all dripping with colourful bougainvillea plants and with cute wrought iron house plaques and window grills. Beautiful. You can often spot a lazy cat or two basking in the sunshine, and if you're like me, you always hope someone will have left their front door ajar just a little so you can take a sneaky peek inside. This summer, many of the street's lanterns have been painted in vibrant colours, with the effect of a stained glass window. And as Altea has always been renowned for its artists and craftsmen, this came as no surprise. I bet they looked absolutely gorgeous by night time, lighting up the little winding streets and alleyways. As you head further and further up into the Casco Antiguo, you can find small squares leading off in all directions, which are always worth the effort of exploring. Never forget to look back at where you've just come from either, as the vista changes the more you climb, and you'll be rewarded with some of the most stunning views of the turquoise Mediterranean, and further along to the Costa Calpe with its famous rock jutting out of the sea. If you are really lucky, you may even see a pod of dolphins swimming by, or more likely a group of jet skiers whizzing past and enjoying the clear blue waters. This year, between June and October, we had the privilege of being able to view an open-air art exhibition in Altea streets, entitled El Regreso De Las Gagolas, meaning Return of the Gargoyles. Local ceramics and plastics artists were invited to create a gargoyle which would be displayed during the summer months using as much imagination and flair as they desired. As a gargoyle is not only a water outlet but also a beast or demon that drives away evil spirits, it was considered that the artisans could let their creative juices run wild. And it was certainly fun stumbling across these mad creatures around every corner. See how many you can spot in this video. A QR code was placed next to each piece, which you could scan to find out all the information about the artwork itself, as well as the studio where it was made. One piece was so iconic and desirable, a big fat red Spanish chorizo sausage, that it even got stolen. Often referred to as the artist capital of the Costa Blanca, the small, snaking streets of Altea's Old Town are filled with galleries and workshops of potters, artists and craftsmen. They find Altea's peacefulness and tranquility a paradise in which to work, and open their shops and stalls, which are scattered throughout this part of the town, and in the summer months nightly handicraft markets are held in the church square. Altea sits at the mouth of the Algar River, on the bay that is enclosed by the Punta d'Albir and the Morro de Toich. Its history originates from the many civilizations that have left their mark and influence on the area, which include the Iberians, Greeks, Phoenicians, Romans and Moors. The name Altea comes from the Greek work Altaia, meaning I cure. Finally, heading towards the highest part of the town, you will walk through an archway and then up the pretty cobbled street of Calle Mayor. The old fishermen's cottages are now modern buildings housing shops and businesses where visitors can find everything they need. Restaurants, cafes, ice cream parlours, fashion boutiques and shops with household goods all thrive in this area. At the very top, before you walk into the square, you will find the Crown of India, which is a family-run restaurant which first opened its doors in 2013. They offer a range of authentic Indian dishes and have a beautiful rooftop dining area that is exquisitely furnished and has the most amazing views. Check it out on their website. The town has always attracted all kinds of artists, painters, writers and musicians, and in the 60s and 70s it became a melting pot of bohemians. Eberhard Schlotter, Marisol, Rafael Alberti and Vicente Blasco Ibanez are just some of the personalities who succumbed to Altea's charms. Altea holds a weekly market every Tuesday, which is always worth a visit as it is much smaller and more personal than Benidorm's bi-weekly offering. Finally, we reach Plato Iglesia, and the majestic Parroquia de Nuestra Señora del Consuelo sits in front of us, meaning the Church of Our Lady of Consolation. Its two domes are made of traditional glazed Levantine blue tiles trimmed with white, which you can see from all over the town, and these are typical of many of the churches in the region. The economy of Altea is now based mainly on tourism, which started to grow in the 1950s because of its good weather, beaches and its labyrinth of pretty streets that characterise the town. It is protected on the north by the bluffs of the Serra de Benia, creating an especially mild microclimate. A busy lunchtime service was going on in the many bars and restaurants that hug every corner of the square. And heading off to the Mirador de los Cronistas, we get fabulous views down to Altea's marina, as well as along to the neighbouring village of Albir. You can also make out the hazy silhouette of Benidorm in the distance, with some of its tallest skyscrapers being particularly noticeable. As I meander downhill to get the bus home, I hope you've enjoyed this information vlog on Albir and its Old Town area with me. And if you did, I would ask that you please give the video a thumbs up and like it, and consider subscribing to my channel if you haven't already done so. Also, feel free to drop me a line in the comments section if there is something or somewhere you would particularly like me to include in the future, and as always, I'll see what I can do. I'll see you out and about next time. Cheers!